Hello, my wonderful friends. Sally the Seeker here, coming to you with another installment of the Darrell Brooks comedy/drama hour. I know in the prior videos that I have put up, I really got focused into when Darrell and the state were going to be giving their closing arguments, statements, and then of course Darrell not understanding anything and angry because he couldn't help write the jury instructions, but he wasn't really angry about that. He just wanted his, he wanted to be the center of attention. But all of his protests and ways to try to delay, and the 3Ds that has escaped me, but you all know what I'm talking about. So I was going to continue on with that, but I thought, that was getting too heavy, and I was actually getting too triggered by it. So I said, let's maybe go a little lighter, although there isn't a lot of lightness with Darrell. Well, I take that back. There is a lot of lightness when we focus on his personality and his lack of intelligence and, God, I almost said decor. I think we're all sick of that word, but his compassion. He has no compassion because he's a empty vessel, a demon with a void inside, and his mouth just runs, on automatic. He probably doesn't need a brain for that. But in this one, he thinks, he must think he's a doctor or has medical experience. And I was looking up and I was going to play him, and I said, nah, I'm not going to waste my time on that, because I think all of us, if we've watched enough, know that there have been times like when a witness is testifying about maybe the injuries a friend or a relative that they were with received. He's going to start asking, well, are you a doctor? Do you have medical experience? I don't believe I heard that you were a doctor and all that. So now he's trying to play doctor, because this is a point in the trial where I believe a juror was dismissed because they tested positive for COVID. I believe another one tested positive, but I don't think they were excused. I can't really remember all the facts about it, but what's happened now is that another person has a health concern. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're, tested positive for COVID, but due to all of that, the judge is going to kind of like pull them. And she's already mentioned it to them, but she's going to bring them into the courtroom in front of the defendant and the prosecution, and ask each and every one of them if they still feel comfortable serving, and will this interfere with them being able to focus on the trial and all that. And so apparently, well, you'll see what happens. I don't think any of them had any problems, but Darrell, of course, he always has questions. It doesn't matter what it is. He's going to have a question and an objection, and since Darrell is Mr. Opposite, it wouldn't matter. He's going to do opposite of the judge and has questions as if he is now a medical expert, as he has accused others, witnesses, some of them his own, of being a doctor or an expert in medicine, which now he acts as if he is. So let's see and just enjoy. Here we go.
Yes, good morning, Judge Sue Offer, Leslie Basie, and Zach Woodchow will appear on behalf of the state of Wisconsin.
Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
I'm here as a third party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept the value and return to value all of the charges in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instruments, and for the record, I do not consent to being called that name.
The record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is present in person in custody. He is in street clothes wearing a suit and tie and a mask.
I don't consent to being called that name, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I understand,
For the
sir.
record.
And I have advised you previously that I will continue to refer to you at times by that name, as I believe it's appropriate given the charging instruments in this case. And other
Hear, hear.
evidence now that's been received during the course of this trial where I believe we are using the accurate name. With that, I
don't agree to that, Your Honor. Just
Oh, shut up. We know you don't.
lack
Just,
of consent is noted.
mm-hmm.
So before we, a couple of things on the record. I know Mr. Brooks has filed some things, but before I get to that,
Of course he has.
as I told the parties on Monday, I had excused one of the jurors for a health reason, and it has come to my attention that I now have a second juror with the same health concern. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to bring the jurors out to question them about their, whether any of them have any concern about continuing to serve on this jury, given the health concern. I am referring to a COVID concern. I'm not going to ask any particular juror whether they've tested positive or not, or whether they've had an exposure. But I am going to ask them questions about their willingness to continue serving, whether it's interfering at all with their ability to pay attention. Out of an abundance of caution, we have brought in 2 air purifiers, although I am told that because of the new building and the HVAC that's in this building, and I received this from our facilities manager, the new HVAC system in the court's tower has a UV light system that disinfects the air at a higher air exchange rate than the purifiers, and that the system was specifically designed so that no special standalone systems are needed. But again, out of an abundance of caution, we've had 2 air purifiers put in this courtroom. I'm putting a 3rd one in the jury room. We have also provided jurors, should they wish, with masks. We've increased the hand sanitizers and the disinfecting wipes. We've always had the hand sanitizers around. There's one on the jury box at the moment, and they've been in the jury room. I'd also like to put on the record that I did advise the jurors on Monday that one of the jurors was not going to be with us any longer due to a health concern. I asked them at that point if anyone had any concern. I did indicate at that point it was a possible exposure, and they all indicated no, they didn't have any concerns. But again, out of an abundance of caution, I feel it's important to now question them while they're in the jury box to ensure that there aren't any issues related to that. So with that, I am going to instruct the jurors to be brought out for that purpose. And then they'll be excused after that so we can continue the discussion regarding that, and then deal with, if need be, the other issues and filings that have been brought to my attention today.
Look at him. You know the wheels are turning. He's going to have to say something. You know he cannot keep quiet or still. He's going, what can I say or do to delay this trial? Look at him. I mean, oh God, here we go.
No, not at this time.
I don't know if the audio is on.
We don't need it on really to hear you. We don't want to hear you.
All right for the jury.
I suspect he asked something about subject matter jurisdiction.
They're behind you. I don't know if you can see. Oh wait, you can bring me that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I brought you out here. We are not taking testimony at the moment. I have made a record previously regarding COVID-related concerns with the jurors. I know you are all aware that one juror was excused due to a health concern. I also put on the record that on Monday, when I advised the jurors of that, I asked you all if anyone had a concern regarding that, and that no one indicated they had a concern. I have been made aware of a second issue and potential exposure, and so I wanted to make a record in open court and to ask each one of you if any of you have any concerns about continuing your service in this case due to exposure to COVID. And so I'm just going to go through each one. Hopefully I can see all of your numbers from here. I'll just start from the back row and move from my left to right, front row, my left to right. And I also want to let you all know we have a very, very good HVAC system. I made a record of this while you were not here. But this is a new building. It has brand new technology. I've been told that the HVAC system in the courts tower, and this was told to me by our facilities manager, has a UV light system that disinfects the air at a higher air exchange rate than purifiers, but out of an abundance of caution, I've had 2 air purifiers also put in this courtroom, and I've had 1 put in the jury room. I believe you would be able to confirm for us as well that when you got into the jury room this morning, there were extra sanitation supplies along with masks. And so with that, I am just going to identify you by number. First of all, juror number 11. Do you have any concerns about continuing your service in this case, specifically related to COVID? All right, thank you. Let me actually go back to, would the fact that you may have been exposed in any way interfere with your ability to pay attention and ultimately render a verdict in this case? All right, thank you. And then, let's see, I know our bars are juror number 48. If you could also answer those 2 questions. All right, thank you. And then juror number 46. Thank you. Juror number 34. Thank you. Juror number 27. Thank you. Juror number 30. Thank you. Juror number 1. Thank you. And then what's your number? 6. Juror number 6. Thank you. And then juror number 14. I'll just start there. Thank you. Juror number 10. Thank you. Juror number 51.
Look at him.
Thank you. Juror number 45.
Look at him. Looking at him. He's
Thank
so
you.
hilarious.
Juror number 19. Thank you. Juror number 41. Thank you. And juror number 3. All right, is there anything I haven't asked of the jurors or any other concerns related to that that you would want to bring to my attention? If so, just raise your hand. There are no hands raised. I can also tell you from our initial days of COVID, when we started up jury trials, we do have plexiglass panels that I could put in between anyone who would want one. Is there anyone here who would want that? If so, raise your hand. No hands are raised. It's really all I have. I don't know if there's anything either of the parties would want me to ask the jurors from the state on this topic. All right, Mr. Brooks. All right, thank you. I'm going to excuse the jurors then, and
He's
then
dying to say
when
something.
we're ready, we'll have you brought back out. And thank you so much.
Look at him. He's really thinking about what he's going to say. Oops. Let me see. Okay, there. We'll freeze on him and look at his foolishness. Okay, so as we all witnessed, nobody on the jury expressed any concerns, and they do not believe this will interfere with their ability to focus on the trial. And I believe it is because these jurors are saying, we are going to see this idiot through to a life sentence because he's an idiot, he's heartless, he's an idiot. Oh, I already said that. and we have to walk down the long hallway because he starts yapping his gator about this or that or another, and he thinks that we're impressed, but we are not impressed, and we want to see this person, or what is it? I don't know what you would even call this monster. We want to escort him to justice, to where he can go to prison for life and hopefully be abused by his new love interest, Bubba Boo. I bet they're saying, don't you imagine they're thinking that we're, oh, hell no, not no, but hell no, we're going to see him through, because he has wreaked so much havoc and caused so much pain to everyone. We're going to see him through. Okay, so the jury's okay with that, so that should be enough, right? That should satisfy everybody, right? Well, you know, when Darrell is involved, that's not going to be the case. Let's watch. Look at him. You can tell he's already. Look, he's thinking. He's thinking. He's thinking. Okay, I had to pause for just a moment, but we are back again. And yeah, it would be nice if they could just go on about their business as usual. But you know, with this guy here, that's not going to happen. So let me try again, and we'll see what happens. Look at him looking back and forth.
Thank you. Be seated. Go ahead.
We counted 15 jurors in the courtroom.
I excused one.
You excused one earlier in the week too, though.
No. I'm only talking about the one. The other one I didn't excuse.
I see.
And thank you, I'll make a record of that. I did not excuse given when that person reported their symptoms and where we're at today. So it would be,
So that person is here
yes,
and willing to continue serving.
yes,
Okay, thank you.
sure. And I will make a further record that none of the jurors are wearing masks. I'm not going to mandate. I believe it's a personal choice. And that would also be consistent with, I believe, our county policies as well. So, unless there are anything related to that, I have a couple of other issues I need to address this morning. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Person that's, or the two people rather, that are having the COVID concerns. I know you said you wasn't gonna ask them had they test positive or the results of any testing. Do you know if there has been exposure on their end to COVID exactly, or is that just a caution thing?
My understanding is that I've had 2 jurors test positive throughout the course of this trial.
And
I make a further record that they're the only ones within 6 feet of each other, right? They, and perhaps our civilian bailiffs, they've not been in, obviously, contact with anyone in the gallery. I don't know if maybe Attorney Opper might be within 6 feet. I don't think so, but I haven't measured it. Obviously, you're not within 6 feet of any of them. But that's a good question to ask, and I'm glad you asked that, and I wanted to make a record of that as well.
Yeah, that would be my question to it. I guess in reference to me myself just having the same concern a few weeks ago. So that would be the reason why I would want to know exactly any details that could be provided.
Exactly.
I'm providing all the details that I will. Again, for the record, you have not been exposed, from my opinion, because of the distance that you are away from them, and my understanding based upon my review of county policy.
Me myself have been
Understood.
exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I asked them though too, right? I wanted to make sure they had no concerns, or if they had a concern, to see if I could accommodate it in any way. I'm satisfied that if they don't have a concern, that we can continue forward.
Have they ever, the entirety of the jury though, have they been exposed in any way?
I don't know the specifics because of the 6 foot, right, rule, and no one has asked me to investigate that further.
Wouldn't it be smart though to see?
I don't believe that's necessary under the circumstances.
Well, if anything, just for future reference, like, what if it plays a part later on?
Well, I'll certainly take your concerns under advisement, and if I believe any further questioning needs to be done, I'll do that. At this point, I don't believe it needs to be done, but I'll think about that and I'll take it under advisement, and if I change my mind, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because if anything, it probably would be smart for the long run to make sure no one else was compromised, considering that.
Let me make a record there. No one has indicated they are compromised. I don't think we can make assumptions about how anyone who's been exposed or tested is feeling. You can be asymptomatic and test positive. You can have mild symptoms. I trust my jurors that they would report if they're not able to sit through the proceedings. And I will further advise them through the bailiffs that they are to report if they ever get to a point where they feel they're not able to sit through here, and so that we're advised and I can tell the parties.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, because it was from Monday, which at that time it wasn't known. Could have been flu, could have been just not feeling well, could have been anything, and then today is, then you kind of worry about tomorrow, Friday, over the week.
No one's worried except him. And what's interesting is if you listen to him, he sounds like he has something. It's probably a cold. I mean, I've had a million of them. He's the only one wearing a mask. He was the one that was a big baby about his and even lied about the test. And if he was so worried, remember he lied and said he was offered the rapid test, which he was. We all know all of that. But yet now I believe it's just another tactic for him to delay. But Judge Dorow is keeping her patience, but it's like, dude, she's running the show. How come you're coming in and trying to run her show? The audacity of him is just, look, even the bailiff is just like, he probably had a calendar where he marked off how many more days. Because he's just, I mean, no one makes a big deal out of anything but Darrell. Nobody's worried. Okay. We will proceed.
Mr. Brooks, I share all of those concerns, but my other concern is that we are in the 3rd week of trial, and that we should keep going until the conclusion of this matter, understanding what has happened.
She knows exactly what he's doing. Yep.
I just wanted to put that on the record because
I appreciate that.
It seemed like the circumstances were different when it was me. Just saying.
Okay, what the hell does he mean like that? The circumstances were different when it was me. How was that? I don't understand. Don't understand why it was different. He was trying to get out of things. She encouraged him to take the rapid test, which he lied and said it wasn't offered. And you know what? I can't try to figure him out. None of us can, right? But it's always back to him, poor him with his oversized suit. It is a terrible hairline, I gotta say. And his lady fingers with dirty nails and his paperback Bible that he does not, I don't believe he lives by like he says he does. But let's just listen to him again.
Are you making any specific requests given this information?
Well, I believe that the jury clearly all congregate together. I think it would be smart to make sure everybody is tested.
What?
That's
What? Now he's going to say, oh, look, that's a perfect place to leave him. He looks really, ugh. Look at the bailiff. So now he's going to say, I think they should be tested. After they were just polled and they said they were all fine with it. I mean, they could, I'm sure if they had any concerns, they could go get their own test. A lot of tests, well, even then, I believe you could do it an at-home test. So yeah, he's just lollygagging around, saying all this stuff, trying to act like he knows what the hell's going on, but we know he's clueless. He's so exhausting.
It would be smart to do that.
Oh, so it'd be smart to.
I'm not going to mandate testing for the jurors. That much I can tell you.
There you go.
So that request is denied.
And the grounds for the denial?
Are you serious? You're questioning her on that?
I'm not going to mandate that the jurors be
He's
subject
challenging her on that.
testing. They're the ones who indicated they are comfortable being here. They don't have concerns. And again, I would trust them to report to me if anything changes.
I would trust that too, but it still
But-
would
but-
refer back to Monday when the first
Are you kidding
knowledge of
me?
someone having an illness or a potential illness was those same questions that were asked today, asked Monday.
Well, they're not going to ask them then, okay? So, again, he's just like probing in, like saying, thinking they should be tested. That's kind of trampling on their privacy, issues. They will test if they're concerned. He's just got to control everything, everyone, because he knows really deep down he has no control. Look at him. Good gosh, people.
I did not.
Quite sure.
I certainly questioned them much more. It was a very brief. I put what I said to
He's
them
even
on the record
questioning
earlier.
her.
It was certainly not what we did here today, and the record reflects that.
Right. I'm quite sure though that all the jurors Monday said they didn't have any concerns as well. And then now today, someone else.
But they have no
Same
concerns.
thing being said. So
I understand what you're
if it
saying.
happens again, same thing being said,
But are you making any specific requests as it relates to this topic and this issue?
well, you denied the request that
Any other requests?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's smart for them to be tested. So it doesn't come up again in the future, or potentially come up again in the future, because then we'll all be looking back and saying, well, we could have prevented something like this from happening if we had just nipped it.
And how come you can't look back and say, I should have mowed over all those people? How about we look back at that? What you're looking back at is nothing. You're just making up stuff as you go along. Don't you love how I say you, like I'm talking to him? It does make me feel more empowered, though, when I do it. It's like, oh my God, the poor family victims, seriously, and the victims that survived, who had to be subjected to this long, I can't wait till we get to their victim impact statements, because we will enjoy that together. He's a piece of work.
In the bud from the get-go. It's just smart to, like you say, err on the side of caution.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Look at that.
I'm
She
gonna
is
continue.
pissed.
I understand what you're saying, but given the responses of the jurors today, I'm going to continue. I'm going to base this off of their desire to continue, at least what I would interpret as their desire to continue with their service on this case.
Ah. So there. So she has spoken, and there it is. He's just, I looked at that. I saw that, and I said, oh yeah, this is good. Here he is, here he is, trying to question everybody and saying, oh, are you an expert? And the police officers, you're getting paid to be here today. Blah blah. He's just a joke. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me for this. I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you the next time. Don't forget to be kind to one another. Don't forget to be kind to you. Love you all. See you the next time.